Well, did you survive? I guess if you're listening to this, you did. Congratulations. It was watery, I gotta say. You listened to my little episode last night that I just felt like coming in here and recording. It was like, wow, it was soupy watery. Wow. And however you felt or experienced or didn't experience it, it was there, certainly. And if you connected to the energy, then chances are that you felt some of that water as well around your emotions. And another area where the eclipse showed up strongly, I think, is around home. I mean, it was very, very, very prototypical Cancer. So all the Cancer attributes were very present yesterday in the emotions around the eclipse. I had to wait just a little bit this morning to just make sure that I wasn't recording something that was like, now, that's not the way it is, because if I had recorded this yesterday and just wasn't in the right throw, I wanted to make sure that I was in today's emotion, recording today's chart stuff. But I'm not going to do as much today as kind of a look ahead, because I thought now that eclipse is behind us. And first of all, a couple of eclipse notes, by the way. Eclipses are kind of like wild dogs. They travel in packs. So we're going to have another one, this time lunar, July 16, if you want to mark that down, and that will be in the sign of Capricorn. That will be another interesting day because obviously what is stacked in Capricorn right now, if you've been listening to me for any length of time, you know we call it the big three, Pluto, Saturn, and the South Node. And that's not going to change. So the moon goes over there and hangs out in that pool hall. So adding to the transformational energy, we will stack an eclipse on there. How do you view eclipses? I think the best way is kind of open parentheses, close parentheses. And a lot of times, because of the lingering energy, I mean, they last up to 6 months energetically. So if you are, if you didn't make it yesterday and you are there today, it's still right there. It's very present. But you could take this eclipse, for example, and go back technically 19 years. So that would take you back to the year 2000. So what was going on in your life in the year 2000? Did you have major disruptions? Were there major changes? Was Saturn involved? Was there a major life lesson? Maybe there was the tee-up of a major life lesson that's kind of been unfolding itself over the last 20 years. I could look back on that and connect with that one myself. So they do come in cycles for sure. Now, if you wanted to make some mental notes, or if you have pen and paper, you could take some notes on this or come back and listen to it again and jot these down. But here is kind of what the next month and about a half looks like. And then the good news is we are going to get out of this eventually. So yay for that. But in the meantime, we still have some challenges to deal with. The one that's sitting on top of us right now, I mentioned this in the podcast yesterday about the eclipse, is we do have a cranky relationship between Uranus and Mercury-Mars. That's not going to change. That's not going to change through this whole period, basically. They are going to be locked in sync even as Mercury starts to turn retrograde. So the next big thing that happens is Jupiter is going to tip into Cancer. Oh, what does that mean? Your relationships, I know, and your money, I know. I wish I had better news. So everything that we've been going through with Mars, Mercury, communication, just all these challenges shifted over to your love, relationship, money, home, beauty, all of that, okay? So that's coming. Sorry, I'm just the messenger. One of the good things is the Ascendant is going to move into Leo, so you will be feeling some sparks of fire again, at least in kind of from that interpersonal drive with Mars and the Ascendant moving into Leo. The Ascendant moves into Leo on the 9th of July. We have the full moon on the 16th. Now, one little feller that I didn't mention in here is Mercury. Mercury goes retrograde. I have been mentioning it throughout some of the past episodes, but it goes retrograde on the 7th. That lasts until the 30th. So basically, starting right after the 4th of July, this coming weekend, all the way through the rest of the month, Mercury retrograde, 2019, summertime. And then it's shoulder, so it's tapering off of that retrograde energy all the way until August 15th. Oh, I know. And then, that's kind of the big day. August 15th, if you want to know Thomas, when are we going to be out of this? It's going to be around August 15th. The sun moves into Leo on July 22nd. Now, that's good because now we start to really shift things to what we call Leo season. So we're going to get out of this Cancer, emotion, watery, changing all the time stuff. And we're going to get back to some fire, some good old summer August fire in Leo. Yes! And then the next thing, like I was saying, is kind of by August 12th to the 15th, all of this is cleared out. The chart just completely changes. And if you have been sensitive to this energy, you are going to feel a relief. Really, especially, I think, after Mercury retrograde is over. So that would be 7:30. So August 1st is kind of the marker. We had talked about that before, but that's when things are really going to shift. Keep this Uranus, Mars, Mercury thing in mind. How do you play that? Well, you mind your little tongue is what you do, first of all, because some weird stuff could come out of your mouth. And you also just realize that change could be a big factor in the month of July. You know, if I had a yacht... But, that's not how we do this because that's escapism and that's not transformation. Remember, sitting all the way across from this are those big three boys that are watching us saying, we're giving you the opportunity of a lifetime to transform your soul. So take that in this package of challenge and just realize that your trainer at the gym has just added another 25 pounds to the barbell, and you've got to squirm and squinch and struggle a little bit to get that thing up, but you are going to pull this bench press off, and you are going to grow, and your muscles are going to be stronger afterwards for it. And while you might be cussing that trainer all the way up, and you finally crest the top of that bench press, and you go, yes! That's how July is going to be, and we're going to get you through it. So stay here and tell your friends to listen to the podcast, and I will see you tomorrow.